Hi, this is Peter Gallant. This is my Module 3 final assignment for course number 6620, Dr. Elizabeth Murphy. Open Learning in the Future. Openness is a necessary agent of change in educational institutions that will keep schools relevant to their communities. Moses reports that even though universities may survive in the 21st century, more students will take advantage of the online open learning option rather than opt for the traditional classroom-based model. Wiley implores that in order to guarantee future relevancy, educational institutions must begin and continue addressing openness in the form of an organizational value. Lane posits evidence that points to a new direction in the future of adult open learning. The basis for this, asserts Lane, is the unprecedented new and expanding range of openness and increasing number of educational resources available. In the future, the general public will come to expect that open educational resource projects will be routinely offered in every institution of higher education, according to Wiley. He also contends that schools will discover internal resources to provide these projects. Wiley projects that such educational institutions will end up maneuvering through the murky waters of sustainability. Given these upcoming challenges, Wiley suggests that stakeholders in the education system will need to start promoting the removal or alteration of policies that in any way inhibit the use of open learning procedures and materials. Education will become more transparent and teachers more accountable as teaching portfolios become part of the instructor's job. As online multimedia technology gains prominence, transformation is needed in how higher education is delivered and received. Increased accountability and open learning underlines the claim by scholars that newly formed institutions and other educational organizations will soon be in competition with current schools for advanced educational services such as research, instructing, and issuing accreditation. Balzertsen reports that through the open social network Facebook, transparency will overtake modern life. He contends that people overall will be better off if they follow suit and become transparent through the divulging of personal information in this manner. He further posits that, in the context of education, this type of transparency will support school improvement through the increased availability or exposure of information. In a scenario detailed in his study, Schmidt describes what an opening learning assessment and accreditation may look like in the future. He characterizes this futuristic activity as a group of students working on a behavioral economics project using basic online tools such as wikis, email, and blogs, some of which used in a shared manner. Schmidt poses that the group will leave a digital trail of its work while accumulating bookmarks and postings. Individual members, reports Schmidt, will review each other's contributions, providing valuable feedback while adding to their own blogs and portfolios. Arendt claims that concerning the usage of open courseware, there are many possible futures. In her study, she contends that the rate of adoption of OCW for future open learning will be justified by the user's perceptions of the software more than the expert's perceptions. She also asserts that the future marketing of technology clusters, OCW, and other open educational resources will speed up the spread and use of the software and ultimately the acceptance of the format. In his study, Morgan proposes that traditional schools adopt models of open learning in the future that will benefit not only the open education movement, but ultimately pay dividends to the institution itself. He stresses that educational institutions should enable global access to courses, even without OERs, with cross-institutional cooperation. This, Morgan submits, would demonstrate sensitivity to concerns and barriers faced by higher educational institutions. In his study, Morgan poses that a future direction for this model could include programs such as dentistry, medical anthropology, nursing, and studies centered around the environment. This, he reports, can be effected through online discussions of a global nature and collaborative international work on case studies. As part of their future agendas, higher educational institutions will have to seek out adequate and valuable quality control instruments using open sources materials and making use of various forms of digital technologies. In the decades to come, Greer Rosenblit reports that distant education will adopt a leading role in the growth of higher education around the world. Moses contends illiteracy will be addressed through open university-style learning, which will help by distributing knowledge and leveling access to education and teachers. Balterson reports that globally accessible wiki instruments will more than likely become a valuable addition to the private and traditional learning management systems that currently command institutions of higher learning. He also suggests that culturally, we appear to be advancing toward a fully transparent network economy through which information can be shared. To ensure that students of higher education have access to interaction with students and teachers, to learn through this open interaction, to be influenced and be an influence in the realm of values, beliefs, customs, practices, and in personal and social development through university study is a 21st century challenge anywhere in the world. Mazar stresses the need for future facilitating of open methods of teaching and learning that are supported by a credible and competent educational framework. As with any long-term process, states Mazar, it is understandable that such a change will only happen in an incremental fashion. Mazar submits that effecting a change of this magnitude will mean pointed and continual efforts by educational leaders at every conceivable level of instruction.